Hey, what's going on everybody? It's ETA Prime back here again. Today I am super excited because we get to take an early look at the upcoming MVS X. Now this is a home arcade system, bar top / arcade cabinet, and it's manufactured by Unico, but it's backed by SNK, and we have 50 awesome Neo Geo games on this thing. So this is an early sample, and once I'm done with this, I have to ship it out to another reviewer or YouTuber. And unfortunately, the only stipulation here is I can't do a teardown. That was the first thing I wanted to do, but they immediately told me that I couldn't, and I completely understand right now. But when I get my hands on an official production unit, we will be doing a full teardown. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box. Now for this early review unit, I wasn't able to get a riser. They also sell the riser, or they have the full kit that you can pick up from the website. I'll leave links in the description. But the main section of the MVS X is fully assembled and ready to go. All you need to do is plug in this 12 volt 3 amp power supply, and you can start playing your favorite Neo Geo games as long as they're preloaded on this unit. And we do have 50 great games, mostly fighters. There is some Metal Slug on here, but it is missing some of my favorites like Polestar and Blazing Star. So I'm going to go ahead, get this out of the box, unwrap it, and we'll take a look at the cabinet itself. So overall, gotta say they've done an amazing job with this. It's definitely slimmed down from an original MVS cabinet, and that's pretty much a given here. This is the MVS X. We got a beautiful lit marquee up top, the NVS button layout. They've matched the colors exactly. Obviously, they've had to add a few extra buttons and a volume wheel here because we are dealing with emulation. And if we take a look at the front, there's a mini coin door. Now this is kind of a dummy coin door. I was hoping that this would work as player 1, player 2 start, but it's just here for aesthetics. I really like the look of this thing, and they've done a great job capturing that NVS look in a smaller form factor. And around back, there's really not much going on. We do have a physical power button, a USB port for updating the firmware, and our power in for that 12 volt 3 amp power supply that was included in the package. The whole interface itself is easy to navigate, and like I mentioned, we have 50 games, and they've broken this up into collections. So first up, we have the King of Fighters collection with King of Fighters 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Then we'll move over to Metal Slug. We have Metal Slug 1, 2, X, 3, 4, and 5. Then it moves into the Samurai Showdown collection. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 Special. Now we have a Classic collection with Last Blade 1 and 2, Savage Rain, Sengoku 1, 2, and 3, Shock Troopers, Magician Lord, Super Sidekicks, Top Players Golf, 3 Count Bout, Baseball Superstars, Football Frenzy. Then it moves into the Fatal Fury collection. So we have 1, 2, Special, Real Bout Fatal Fury, Real Bout Fatal Fury Special, Part 2, Mark of the Wolves, and finally we have the World Heroes collection. And I'll leave a game list in the description and a link to the website so you can see what's really on here. I know I skipped a few, but overall we do have 50 games, and there are a lot of great games on here. There are a few settings that we can mess with from the main menu, and there's also some different settings from within each game. But let's check out the menu settings first. If we scroll up, you can see we have 3 different options here. You can scan these QR codes to head over to the website. We have a licensing agreement, and finally the settings itself. So we can change the language from here. We can also go back and change the game mode from MVS to AES. I'm going to leave mine on MVS for my testing. And we also have a game image setting, and this is going to allow us to add scan lines. It comes at pixel scaling out of the box. If you don't like scan lines, leave it here. If you like scan lines, go to the pixel scan line. Smooth scaling isn't something I personally prefer on these older games, but we also have horizontal scaling, vertical scaling, and 40-degree scaling. I've tested all of these so far, and I prefer the pixel scan lines. I think it looks really great given that we have an LCD inside of here. And if you need to update the firmware, we also have a section for that, and factory reset. Another cool little feature are these little LED counters here, and when we're scrolling through the game list, it'll just go 1 all the way up to 10 as high as I've seen it go, because that's how many Samurai Showdown games we have. Now, unfortunately, when we get to a game like Metal Slug X, it doesn't display an X. It'll just go through the numbers all the way up to whatever number we have here. And personally, with the sample unit, I haven't been able to get the second player to come off of 6, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But we also have a volume wheel on the control deck, and this does have dual stereo speakers built in, and they sound pretty good. Okay, so now it's time to get into some gameplay because that's what this thing's all about, playing some Neo Geo games. We're going to go with one of my favorites, Metal Slug 4. So we'll load the game up, and like I mentioned, when you're in a game there are some extra options in here. So you're just going to press the options or the back button here. We can exit the game from the first section. We can save and load from here. We have 4 slots for each game, saving and loading. We can also rearrange our controller setup. Now, I tried messing around with this. I had to do a factory reset because I totally destroyed my button layout, but it does work. And we can set up our scan lines from here. For this game, I'm going to leave it with the pixel scan lines because I think it looks pretty good. We also have this last option. It can be turned on or off. So I've played the heck out of Metal Slug 4 on AES systems, NVS systems, and even emulation with tons of different devices. And this is working amazingly well. Now I will admit it doesn't take a lot to emulate these Neo Geo games, so they don't need a super powerful chip in here, but whatever they're using definitely hangs with all of the games that I've tested so far. I haven't noticed any weird bugs. Controller latency is 0 on this unit because it is wired up to the main board. The screen on this cabinet looks great. We have some really good sound here. We got that volume control up top on the control deck and 2 front-facing stereo speakers. So yeah, I've been having a really good time with this, but I did want to test out a few more games, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So with King of Fighters 2002, I've turned scan lines off. I'm not sure how well it's coming across on camera, but it still looks good when it's sitting at pixel perfect. Okay, so the hardware works great. Personally, love the form factor of this thing. It's definitely a bit smaller than I'd like, but it doesn't take up much room on my bar top, and that's exactly what they're going for here. They also offer a 32-inch riser, so it's not a bar top anymore when you add the riser. But what about the price on this thing? Well, we can find out all the information we need at the official website. I'll leave a link in the description. Lots of great information over here. We've got the list of all the games we have, all the collections. Tells us we can enable scan lines. It's got a 17-inch LCD with a resolution of 1280 by 1024. It gives us the dimensions here, so it's 15.4 inches wide, 19.4 inches deep, and 25 inches tall, and the thing weighs 28 pounds without the riser. And when we do add the riser, it's going to bring the total height up to 57 inches. And as for the price, it is a bit expensive. So for the bar top section itself, MSRP $449. For the riser alone, $99, or you can set up a combo deal for $499. So all in on the MVS X with the riser, $500. And I know it does sound pretty expensive, but remember, we're getting 50 games here. Taking a look at this compared to an arcade 1-up machine, especially the special editions with 3 or 4 games, they go for around $399. And remember, those only have 3 to 4 games on them. And with this one here, we're getting a pretty hefty collection of 50 Neo Geo games. But in the end, it does still sound pretty expensive for what we're doing here. Now you could take that money and put it into building your own cabinet if you really want to. But if you don't have the skills or tools to do something like that, this actually might be a really great option if you're into the included games we have on this unit. But that's pretty much it for this video. Really appreciate you watching. Definitely keep an eye on the channel because I do want to go through and do some more gameplay. I'm not going to be able to cover all 50 games, but if there's a specific game you want to see running on this, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll add it into that gameplay video. I will leave a link to the MVS X website so you can learn a little more about this, and if you have any questions, let me know down below. But like always, thanks for watching.